right, mic check. 1, 2, 3. Mic check. 1, 2. All right, everyone. Good morning. Good afternoon. How's everyone doing, man? G here, Into the Squared Circle podcast. We're talking about all things professional wrestling. Welcome to the AEW post show this afternoon, this morning, wherever you may be watching. Thank you for spending your time. Either you're at home, maybe you're at work, maybe you're in the bathroom taking the dump, allegedly taking the dump, getting paid, not doing shit. That's okay. I got no problem with that. Thank you for watching, man, on this afternoon, morning, wherever you may be watching across the country and across the world. All right, AEW Dynasty wrapped up just before midnight Central Time last night. Woo, Dougie, what a long show it was last night. Anyway, man, we're going to talk about AEW Dynasty. The pay-per-view went down live from British Columbia last night. And here on the show, of course, I'm going to do something different here. I'm going to give you guys a little poll here. Right now, live on X, live on Twitch, live on YouTube. If you're a first-time viewer, give me a follow and a subscribe. And you see there's a poll right there, okay? Not a stripper poll, a poll. You have to decide to how you want to vote. Your thoughts on AEW Dynasty as a total. Now, I put a separate poll last night on X, on Twitter. A lot of people had great positive experience watching Dynasty last night. So I'll leave it up here on YouTube, right here on Twitch and on X as well. Your opinions, your thoughts. Was it a great pay-per-view last night? At top to bottom, right? There was like whopping 13 matches total. So it was a very loaded show last night. And let's get into business. By the way, support the podcast. Scan the QR code. Take the podcast to go. Spotify, iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts. Wherever you, brother, listen to your favorite podcast, all you have to do is type in Into the Squared Circle podcast. Take the podcast to go. It's for free. Support independent wrestling podcasts. And check me out on Facebook, X, Instagram, also on TikTok. I'm going to be posting a lot of AEW Dynasty moments on my TikTok page. So stay tuned after this following stream is completed. So, all right, let's get into business. I know it's Monday morning, Monday afternoon. Let's get into Dynasty here as I put up my list here. I will not go through each match like segment number 2. He did a drop kick. Segment number, no, fucking boring. Okay. We're going to get straight to the action, straight to the meat of the matter, get you guys off and running to wherever you got to do. Okay. I know it's Monday, the worst day, unless you have the day off, but nobody likes Mondays. So I get it. All right. So we have a whopping 4 pre-show matches went down on HBO Max. I got it right this time. I went to the right platform. I did watch it. I was at my family's house, having dinner, and I had this in the background watching on my phone, the pre-show matches. And here's the 4 pre-show matches, if you give a rat's ass or not about the pre-show matches. Alex Windsor defeated Marina Shafir, singles match, 8 minutes and 55 seconds of a match. Again, I kind of watch clips here and there. Is what it is. All right, we have the return of Camille. Now, I was sitting there at dinner with my family, and I was just peeking on my phone, and I'm like, is that Camille? Now, I haven't seen her in quite some time, right? Last time I saw her, she was part of that Queen of the Ring movie she did, was a year or 2 ago. I still haven't seen it yet. I'll promise I'll get to watch that movie at some point. But Camille came out. She made a return back. She looks great, by the way. She always looks great. She's a beautiful lady. And she defeated Big Ann, whoever she may be. Either way, Big Ann got defeated by Camille in 1 minute and 25 seconds of a match. So great to see Camille make her return back on the pre-show of all places. All right, Jack Perry, Jungle Boy Jack Perry, defeated Mark Davis for the AEW National Championship. As I mentioned, Jack Perry retained the title in a whopping 8 minutes and 30 seconds, if you give a rat's ass on time here. And then the last pre-show match here, we had a tag team match here for the AEW Women's Tag Team Champions, all right? Divine Dominion, which is Mega Bane and Lena Cross, defeated Hayne and Amaya World by pinfall, 10 minutes and 35 seconds of a match. All right. I seem like you're pretty excited for the pre-show matches. So I don't know. Your thoughts and your opinions. I got my cat down here. I think she's excited for the pre-show matches, right? You're probably not, right? Anyway, he's probably like, feed me now. All right. Let's get into the pay-per-view match, which I did watch when I got home. The first thing I got home is put my kids in the shower, got them dressed, got their PJs on, flipped on the pay-per-view. Tag team match style. To kick it off the show, the Young Bucks, Matt and Nick Jackson, versus the Don Callis family, Kushka Okada and Konosuke Takeshita. Oh, yeah. Konosuke Takeshita. Maybe I should become a professional here. Let's put out the file here. Let's put out the graphic here of the pay-per-view so you know what it looks like here. So I got the guys in the production truck here putting up the graphic here of Dynasty. Yeah. There's the graphic there, courtesy of AEW. Yeah, man. Your thoughts about the kicking off the pay-per-view, man. The tag team, the Young Bucks. Excuse me, grabbing a drink here. So, all right, the Young Bucks. Let's talk about them first. They are good at what the Young Bucks does. You get what I'm saying? You get what I'm saying, right? The Young Bucks are good at what they do. Their style tag team, okay? They're not your Midnight Express. They're not your rock and roll express style wrestling tag team here. They're not your Hardys. I guess they can be, however you guys want to look at them. The Young Bucks are good at their style of tag team wrestling, okay? The Young Bucks were good at what they did last night to kick off the pay-per-view, okay? Now, Konosuke Takeshita and Okada, they had some chemistry last night. Now, there was some point in the match last night where both guys decided to beat the shit out of each other in the middle of the match, as expected. I love where the Young Bucks had both Okada and Takeshita in a sharpshooter. And Okada was ready to put his hands up. He was ready to tap out. And you see Takeshita's like, no, you're not tapping out, buddy. And he started slapping. They're both both of these guys are slapping each other like kids. All right, slapping each other, and they eventually got out of that sharpshooter. But as I mentioned, at one point in the match, we had Takeshita and Okada beating the crap out of each other in the middle of the ring. Now, the match ended was where one of the Young Bucks had Okada in a tombstone position. And the other Young Bucks was a TK driver, Meltzer driver, Indy driver, whatever the hell the move is called. The move was about to happen where one of the Young Bucks was about to jump the ropes and complete the tombstone. Now, Konosuke Takeshita had two options. He had, as my cat's tearing my stuff back here, Takeshita had the option number one, stop one of the Young Bucks from completing the tombstone. Or the second option was walk away and do nothing. Takeshita took option number two and he walked away, which made the Young Bucks complete the tombstone, planted Okada right on top of his head, pinned him 1, 2, 3, and the Young Bucks win. So now we got a little issues within the Don Callis family now. Takeshita did not save Okada last night to kick off the pay-per-view. Now, what's going to transpire within the Don Callis family? We'll have to find out this coming Wednesday on Dynamite, which is, I believe it's Spring Break Dynamite. If you care about that, which is going down this coming Wednesday and Collision Thursday. Of course, they're trying not to compete with WrestleMania this coming weekend. So, by the way, happy WrestleMania weekend, if you give a rat's ass or not. We're going to have a bunch of stuff here on the live stream to celebrate WrestleMania week, of course, for the big WrestleMania weekend. But let's get through Dynasty here really quickly here. So there was that. By the way, that tag team match was 19 minutes and 55 seconds if you're keeping tabs on time at home. All right, up next, we had Ricochet defeated Chris Jericho. Huh? How about that? I did not see that coming, man. I did not see Chris Jericho losing to Ricochet. Of course, one of my favorite spots in that match, which Ricochet, he did like a shooting star press off the turnbuckle or some sorts. And Jericho was laying on the floor, of course. And as Ricochet came off the turnbuckle, Jericho connects him with a code breaker, which I thought was great. Fantastic. Of course, Jericho was trying to be young last night, jumping off the turnbuckle, doing a little bit of high flying action last night. And, got to say, man, Chris Jericho, say what you want about ring rust. Been away for a year. He looked pretty strong in the match last night. Look, we don't expect him to be 20 years old, wrestling like a 20 years old. Jericho, at the age he's at, he looks pretty solid in the ring. Again, I'm just a fan. I'm not a wrestler. I'm not a booker. I've never been inside of the wrestling business, okay? Just like a lot of the streaming people online, unless you've been a wrestler, you took a bump in the ring, which I haven't. I don't know shit. Okay? But Jericho looks pretty solid last night after being away for a year. He looks good. His little mustachio. And he kind of fell short yesterday. I think Ricochet did like some kind of lion moonsault off the ropes yesterday, connected with him, pinned him 1, 2, 3. Ricochet got a big win over Chris Jericho last night. And yeah, man, 14 minutes and 10 seconds of a match. Man, shocker, man. Shocker for me. What's next for Jericho? I guess we'll find out if he shows up on Dynamite this coming Wednesday and what's his next move for Chris Jericho. For Ricochet, well, I guess he has a lot of shit talking to do on Dynamite Collision on how he beat Chris Jericho, the legend. All right, up next, Darby Allin. I went toe-to-toe with Andrade El Idolo. I thought Darby Allin had a hard-hitting match, right? He didn't have a lot of crazy shit, right? He didn't drive a car off the cliff. He didn't set anyone on fire. He didn't put thumbtacks on his bodies. None of that crazy stuff. He actually bust his ass off in the ring last night. Andrade, say what you want about Andrade. He looks fantastic, man. Andrade. And when Andrade took those pants off yesterday in the middle of the ring, man, dude, I took my own pants off while watching him. Now, my wife was standing in the room, and she turned around and walked away. I'm not sure if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but Andrade took those pants off. The ladies were, oh, my God. And goddamn, man, he looks good in the ring. Andrade looks good in the ring. His physique looks good. A ladies' man. Darby Allin, tough as nails. And guess what? Darby Allin picked up the win by defeating Andrade, which was a big shock. And I can't remember, it was like a roll-up or how the match ended. But anyway, won by pinfall, meaning Darby Allin has a #1 contenders match for the AEW World Champion. Now, of course, whoever won for the main event last night, which all of us kind of know who won. Well, Darby made a challenge backstage on Dynasty last night. He told Renee Good last night on Dynasty that this Wednesday on Dynamite, which will be at, Everett, Washington, his home country, his homeland, his neck of the woods, he's going to challenge his #1 contenders match this coming Wednesday on Dynamite in his home state of Washington. So he has a good idea, and he made a plan. So there we go, man. We have a championship match so far set for this coming Wednesday on Dynamite. Again, we'll get to the main event match momentarily. So there we go. Darby Allin defeated Andrade El Idolo, 16 minutes and 30 seconds of a match. All right, FTR, Dax Harwood, Cash Wheeler went toe-to-toe against Cape and Coach, Adam Copeland, and Christian Cage. There we go. the whopping 21 minutes and 10 seconds. I thought it was a hard-hitting tag team match here, man. A lot of good shit in this match. A lot of close calls in this match. FTR were great as a chemistry. Adam Copeland was bleeding like a pig, man. Guy was busted up all over his face, bloodied up last night in the tag team match. Great chemistry between Adam Copeland and Christian Cage. I love how Adam Copeland was beating the crap out of Cash Wheeler. Every time Dax tried to get involved, Adam Copeland, pow, knocks his ass out. And anyway, I'm trying to think throughout this match how this. Anyway, this match was a fantastic tag team match here. FTR, of course, they brought out the Shatter Machine once or twice throughout the match. Took out was it Anna Copeland for the pin, pinned them 1, 2, 3, and FTR managed to defeat Adam Copeland and Christian Cage last night to retain the AEW Tag Team Championships last night on Dynasty. That was a shocker for me. I was putting all my money and all my chips on Cope and Christian. They fell short last night. Of course, FTR was mocking the Young Bucks last night. They were doing their FTR trigger and their super kicks. So they might tease something here. Seem like the Young Bucks may step up for the tag team titles. Maybe a spring break coming up for AEW Dynamite. Maybe Double or Nothing in New York next month. Wherever it may be, we seem like the Young Bucks are up in line next for the tag team champions. What's next for Adam Copeland and Christian Cage? We'll have to wait and see on that. But man, FTR retained the tag team titles 21 minutes and 10 seconds of a match. All right, up next here, Kevin Knight. Kevin Knight won the AEW TNT Championship and the Casino 10-man gauntlet match for the vacant title, of course. And the order of the guys were part of the gauntlet match were Tommaso Ciampa, which was my pick, Roosh, Bandito, Speedball Mike Bailey, El Colon, Pac, Daniel Garcia, Anthony Bowens, Kevin Knight, and Wheeler Yuta was part of the 10-man gauntlet match for the vacant AEW TNT champion. And of course, a big fat winner and the new TNT champion, Kevin Knight. All right. Seemed like the guy's been getting a big push the past couple of weeks. Seemed like he's been loved around the roster, and he has a big moment, a big win. Kevin Knight is your new TNT AEW champion, or the AEW TNT champion, however you want to look at it. So there we go. Not bad, huh? 21 minutes and 5 seconds if you give a rat's ass on time. Up next, Thekla put her AEW Women's World Championship on the line in a 17 minutes exact match here. She had a hard-hitting match by defeating the Jamie Hayter by pinfall. By pinfall last night. Both ladies beat the crap out of each other pretty hard last night. Both ladies were fighting up the ramp, fighting outside of the ring. And of course, what's her name? Jamie Hayter's partner, Alex Windsor, by the way, beat Maria Shafir. A little beat up, right? Backstage. Anyway, that was not the case for Jamie Hayter because she got defeated by Thekla, and Thekla retains the AEW Women's World Champion. By the way, I love that entrance of Thekla, man. She had like because her whole gimmick is the toxic spider. I love she has like a fuzzy arms, a spider face. I love the steel structure of a spider. Pretty damn cool. I like Thekla's entrance. Pretty damn cool. All right. Up next, the Boogeyman, Jon Moxley, put his AEW Continental Championship on the line against Will by God Ospreay. And a hell of a hard-hitting match last night. At this point, I was like, will this match ever end? Now, I asked the same question for the main event last night. But But boy, that match was hard hitting last night between the Will Ospreay and Jon Moxley, man. A lot of close finishes, false finishes last night. These guys went hard. A lot of clotheslines, a lot of hard hitting. Pretty stiff. It was pretty stiff last night, man. These guys went hard. Will Ospreay went hard last night. But look, man, Will Ospreay fell short. Will Ospreay fell short last night, and Jon Moxley picked up a massive win in 18 minutes of a match here. Man, these guys went balls to the walls last night. Again, I know Will Ospreay may not be your style unless you're that kind of wrestling fan who loves that style, the aerial assassin, the British strong style where, you know, they drop a tombstone and they get kicked out of one. Get what I'm saying? So it's one of those matches where, you know, sling blade and straight into a tombstone, straight into a clothesline, just one of those matches where it's a continuation from after one move into another move, into another move, and then everyone's getting wasted. Right? It's one of those styles of match. If that's your style of match, this match was for you. Jon Moxley defeated Will Ospreay to retain the AEW Continental Championship. By the way, I think Jon Moxley paid his respect to Will Ospreay. I think, hey, you're the man. You did it, but I beat you. It's one of those, right? So there we go, man. Hard-hitting match last night. If that match was your style of a match, that match was for you. All right. After that, we had the AEW World Trios Championship was on the line last night. The collaboration, Orange Cassidy, Roderick Strong, the returning Kyle O'Reilly back in his home country of Canada, tag team up against the Dogs, David Finlay, Clark Connors, and Gabe Kidd. Both teams went to war last night for the Trios champion. By the way, the Dogs came rolling in as the Trios champions. By the way, I believe they won those titles like on Collision, right? A couple days ago. Anyway, the collaboration, however you want to say it, Orange Cassidy, Roderick Strong, and Kyle O'Reilly defeated the Dogs last night in a whopping 10 minutes of a match. And the collaboration is your new AEW World Trios Champion. So we got new trio champions change. Went down last night on Dynasty. Orange Cassidy was a little surprised last night. He was like, what? We're the new champions? What? Yeah, anyway, man, the collaboration, congrats to them. They're new AEW World Trios Champions by defeating the Dogs. Hoo, hoo. All right. Let's get into main event time. My eyes are getting sleepy. My eyes are trying to pry open for the main event here. This big time match here. MJF, Maxwell Jacob Friedman's going to put his title on the line against Kenny Omega. Kenny Omega has a God theme entrance. I loved it. Nice and bright and shiny. Guy's a star. MJF, the devil. I love his entrance. Coming up through the stage on a throne with a devil mask, with an upside down cross on his chest. You have ladies doing a "we're not worthy" all around the throne. Lights are red, and out comes the devil out of hell. And we have the devil versus the God. And a one-on-one match. And boy, these guys went to war. These guys went to war. Of course, the key thing in this match was for MJF. The one target area in this match that MJF was going after was the stomach of Kenny Omega. Now, if you're an AEW fan, you kind of know that, I mean, some people may not know, may not watch AEW, that Kenny Omega had that tuberculosis. My apologies. I'm not sure what the full-on word is. Well, he had stomach issues, very serious stomach issues. And they're treating this throughout the match for MJF that he's going to punch him in the stomach. And, weakening Kenny Omega throughout the match, right? These guys did like a crossbody effect, Kenny Omega's stomach. MJF punching Kenny Omega in the stomach kind of affect them throughout the match. That was the key thing for MJF. Slow him down. Take the shortcut. And punching Kenny Omega right in his stomach. Of course, we had a rough bump in the match, of course. Like what? It was like 11:15. I looked at the time. It was like 11:15 p.m. last night, and we had a ref bump. And of course, right off, of course, before the match started, the referee asked MJF, what are you hiding in your trunks before the bell rang? So the ref knew MJF had a diamond ring in his junk, right? Inside of his wrestling trunks. And he made him take it out, and the ref put it in his pocket. Now, when the ref took his bump later on the match, the ref was knocked out cold. MJF was digging through the ref's pocket, took out the diamond ring, was ready to take out Kenny Omega. Kenny Omega counters it and took his ass out. And anyway, we had a second ref come in later on in the match. We thought Kenny Omega had the 3, and the ref was knocked out until the second ref came in, and we got a 2 instead. Long story short, man, these guys went to war. We had tables in the match here. Nobody went through it. Or actually, someone did went through it later on in the match. But these guys went to war, man. These guys went to war. But long story short, MJF defeated Kenny Omega to retain the AEW World Champion last night on Dynasty. So Kenny Omega, so close, but no cigar. And man, I was hoping for Kenny to pick up this win last night. And I thought he was going to, as he was coming into that match. He was pretty excited. He was pumped up. And he just didn't finish. He didn't finish the job. And Kenny Omega ended up losing. MJF retains. And he's moving on, reigning with his AEW World Champion. And well, up next on the list here, he has a big hot date with Darby Allin from what looks like this coming Wednesday on Dynamite. So that match was hard hitting. I enjoyed. I mean, if there were 2 matches I enjoyed, Kenny Omega, MJF, and the tag team match of FTR versus Cajun Cope. I thought that was a great tag team match, a pretty solid, strong pay-per-view last night. And again, I'm going to put the poll up one more time here. Your thoughts and your opinions. This is your final chance to vote right now. After this, we're going to move on to WrestleMania. So Dynasty is on the rear view mirror. And very long pay-per-view last night. 13 matches total. A very long night. Why I kind of moved the post show to this morning/afternoon. And I saw a lot of people went live last night, wee earlies in the morning. I chose to go to sleep. Who doesn't need sleep, right? Anyway, there we go, man. It's your finals and thoughts right here on YouTube, X, on Twitch. It was a great pay-per-view. Was it a good pay-per-view, bad pay-per-view, or a meh pay-per-view? Your thoughts and opinions before I wrap up the live stream here. And there we go. Dynasty is a wrap here, man. And pretty solid pay-per-view. All right. So your thoughts and opinions on the pay-per-view in general. And now we're going to move on to post-Dynasty this coming Wednesday on Dynamite on TBS, man. And we got Collision going down on Thursday as well. So that is it, man. That is it for Dynasty. Pretty solid pay-per-view. And the next one coming up is AEW Double or Nothing, which I believe it was advertised May the 24th and next month in New York City. So there we go. All right, my friends, that is it. We're going to wrap up in this Monday morning afternoon. Thank you very much for watching, wherever you may be watching across the country and around the world. Happy Monday. I hope you guys have a great rest of the week. It's WrestleMania week, of course. I'm pretty excited for it as well. And join me tomorrow night, Tuesday night, April the 14th. We're going to cover tonight's Monday Night Raw. Okay. We're going to talk about the Pat McAfee fiasco from this past Friday on SmackDown. And we're going to talk about all things WrestleMania starting tomorrow night. And we're on the road to WrestleMania now. So Dynasty is on the rear of your mirror. Speak right, G. And we're going to talk about all things WrestleMania for this week. And that is it. Here we are, man. It's WrestleMania week. If you're excited, will you be watching? Or maybe you won't be watching. I don't know. Your thoughts and opinions. And that is it. All right, I'm going to shut up. I'm going to go eat some lunch. Hope you have a great rest of your day. Be safe out there. Support the podcast as always. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow night for WrestleMania previews and a prediction. And I might have some stuff throughout the week to get you geared up for WrestleMania, right? So stay tuned live tomorrow. What previews and prediction, and we'll go through the list for the WrestleMania induction as well. So stay tuned right here on the show. All right, my friends, be safe. Happy wrestling. Talk to you guys next time. Bye-bye, everybody.